Video number 203, using properties of a summation. Here are the 4 basic properties of summations. Make a long story short. Now we're going to go through each one here, but make a long story short on each one of them. Basically, if you have nothing to plug into, you just do the top number times this constant. If you do have a number to plug in, you're going to multiply, you can use the C as a constant. It's just one of those things here. You're allowed to pull that out. Here, if you have a summation of a binomial, you can actually basically use, quote-unquote, the distributive property, and you can then have a sum of the sums of each of the terms. Okay, of course, subtraction works the same. Here's the first one. Basically, what's happening here is we're being asked to add together the first 4 5s. Okay? Now, when you plug 1 in to this constant sequence, it's kind of a boring sequence. Every term of the sequence is 5. So if we were to add the first 4 terms of that sequence, you'd be adding 4 5s together, which is why it's 20. Pretty boring, but that's why it works. Next property. We are going to add together the first 4 6n's. Okay? So we're going to plug in 1, for n, we're going to have 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3, 6 times 4. Add all those together. So what happens is this. We're going to go ahead and plug a 1 in for each one. So we have 6 times 1 plus 6 times 2. Now there's a 6 in each term. So you can factor it. Now we wouldn't do this, but we're just going to go ahead and factor the 6 out. And we would have 1 through 4 as a summation times that quantity 6. Therefore, what is this? That's the sum of the first 4 integers. So that's 1 through 4 for n with a 6 in front, which is why this equals this. Okay, from the first page, we just proved the second property. So basically, you can pull the constant out in front of the sigma symbol. Next, binomial. Add together the first 4 3n plus n squareds. Well, if we go ahead and plug a 1 through 4 in, you'll have 3 times 1 plus 1 squared, 3 times 2 plus 2 squared, 3 times 3 plus 3 squared, 3 times 4 plus 4 squared. Now we're going to rearrange everything. All right? So now we're going to add this. These 4 terms here, we're going to put those together, because in addition, you're allowed to just go ahead and eliminate the parentheses, or basically distribute the 1 that's in front. So you have 3 times all that. Then you have the other 4 terms, which is just 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared. That's just the first 4 what? Squares. So you end up taking a 3 out. We have 3 times the sum of the first 4. There's your 3 in front of the summation, 1 through 4 for n, plus the first 4 n squares. So we can see that you can go from here to basically a sum of each term of the binomial using basically the distributive property. This is just a video as to why these properties do in fact work. Okay? Then of course for the subtraction, which is actually a lot of fun because you get to pull the negative out, we have first 4, so we have 1 cubed minus 2 squared, 2 cubed minus 2 squared, 3 cubed minus 3 squared, 4 cubed minus 4 squared. Well, there's your first 4 cubes right here. Then you have a minus sign in front of the other 4. So you have 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared. That's right here. Then we put a minus sign in front. Now we have a sum of the first 4. So you have minus the first 4 squares. So you have the first 4 cubes minus the first 4 squares. Okay? Any questions, send me an email. And of course, good times, everybody.